program, Business Intelligence. This is your host, Jonathan Diolio. Today we have a very special guest in the set, and this guest is my personal friend and brother from another mother, Mr. Marco Fermin. Welcome, Marco. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Very well, very well. Welcome, welcome. We've been looking forward to your visit here in Business Intelligence, because Business Intelligence is more than business, even of itself. And human beings are more than numbers and figures and all that. Yeah. And I think you are a faithful representation of humanity.
Thank you. Thank you.
At our best.
I'm honored to hear you say that.
Marco is a trainer, an expert in what has to do with physical and mental and psychological and even spiritual training, because physical training entails all of that.
Yes.
Tell our audience a little bit about what you do.
I'm basically a trainer. I'm not just fitness, like Jonathan said. I do everything from health and wellness, mind-body connection, which is most important. Those are the most important things to train before you can actually train your body. And it's the way I teach people is first take care of your spirit, then take care of your mind, and then your body will follow. And it's a different formula for what people are used to, but once they see and they see it works, it's brought me to great heights in my career, basically.
You're like a Michelangelo. You see a piece of marble and you said, hey, I'm going to chisel you out, and I'm going to bring that David out.
Yeah, my way.
How do you spot talent?
Every human, in my opinion, every human travels on a certain frequency, and once you find it and you recognize it, you can develop it. You know, and it's just a talent that I've had since I was young, and you know, I just have a knack for it, and I developed it. Fortunately, I've had amazing teachers in my life, and I've been in certain situations in my life that helped me grow, that brought me, you know, to levels to be able to help people. You know, that I believe obstacles are there to help you boost you up, not knock you down. So any time in my life that I saw, you know, a certain situation that I needed to overcome, I did overcome. I learned how and why, and I teach people. That way, hopefully, if they're in a situation, they can overcome.
So you don't keep all the knowledge to yourself?
No, absolutely not.
You're a giver.
Yes, you have to give, and only give. With the only intention I have is giving. I don't want. Sometimes I don't even ask for payment. You know that. If my payment is received in watching the person advance themselves in life. That's my payment.
You know, that's what Dr. Martin Luther King described as focusing the I into the thou.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Are we good? I'm sorry. We're going to cut that part. No problem. Okay, Agade, we're going from Martin Luther King.
Perdón.
No te preocupes.
Soy perfeccionista.
Good, good.
From Martin Luther King. So that's what Dr. Martin Luther King refers to as the dynamic of focusing the I into the thou.
Yes.
Sometimes we're like opticians, and it's all about I. And at the end of the day, we realize that life is not about us. It's about other people.
Exactly. Selfish behavior gets you nowhere.
Now, you deal with very talented people.
Yes.
That, to be sincere, sometimes are full of themselves. Yes. As we sometimes, at some stage in our life, and sometimes we slip into it without even noticing we're a little too full of ourselves.
Yes.
How do you put people in perspective without taking the motivation and the self-confidence out?
Well, I have a tremendous advantage of the knowledge I have of gravity, and gravity doesn't negotiate. So in what I do for a living, when I put gravity on your shoulders, you have to humble. You can't negotiate. No human, no animal, nothing alive can overcome. So it teaches you to basically put yourself in your place, put yourself in perspective, and not put yourself in perspective, but change your perspective on your outlook. So it's not about, I am this grand thing, I am the best fighter, I'm the best runner, I'm the best basketball player. You're not. The energy's all out there. You just have to learn how to tap into it. And it's what I basically teach them in the gym, out the gym, and every conversation we have is geared towards that. And usually, some people, it'll take longer, some people it'll take less time, but usually humble themselves, and it's like a spiritual awakening they have, and then the training begins. We're not training until that point. We're basically hanging out and sharing time until they realize what the job is that has to happen, and then training begins.
Gravity doesn't negotiate, people.
Exactly.
Gravity does not negotiate. When I met Marco Fermin in the year 2008, this man was buffed. And with great dreams, traveling all around the world, Europe, Asia, you name it, he was there, innovating in his field. And then some news came.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, Marco.
Halloween 2008, I had a pain. I went to the hospital. I was suffering from pain for about 3-4 months, and since I'm into the fitness world, I thought that I could fix it. And I did everything I could, every therapy I knew, and I saw doctors and friends, chiropractors and acupuncturists, and it would numb the pain. You know, I don't take medicine, so you know, I would do natural things. And one day the pain took control of me and humbled me. Ended up at the doctors at the hospital, and about a week later got diagnosed with the rarest tumor on the planet, a chordoma, sacral chordoma. I said, lucky me, here we go. And that started when our exchange happened, which I'd like to take this chance to thank you. You've never let me down. You would show up every week to see me, to visit, to see how I'm doing. And that's why I love you, brother.
I went there to drink from your fountain of perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, just by virtue of coming across a person such as Marco Fermin, one is enlightened and one is motivated to overcome. So on that note, Marco, tell us about the story. How have you overcome? Because I remember there was a time when you went through some therapy and you were okay, and then you had to go back into therapy. And we're putting pictures up as we speak.
Okay. So remember when you met me, very strong, very physically capable person, which was my ego, because I always knew I had that capacity. So I combined it with my mental capacity, and I thought that even I can beat cancer, the great C word, you know, that I don't even like to say. Not true. You can't. You can't do it alone, and that's what I learned. I sought out therapies. I saw one of the best Chinese doctors in the United States. I was fortunate enough and, you know, financially stable enough to be able to visit him and seek treatment from him, and it helped, but it helped my brain. It didn't actually help the tumor. Nothing was going to stop this tumor from growing. And until I controlled my ego, and which took 4 years of suffering, which you were there, you saw me suffer through the whole time. Japan, like you said, a carbon ion radiotherapy, they could not help me. Natural doctors in Brazil, one came to visit me here in the States. No one had a solution. It just wasn't out there.
You even went to our home country, the Dominican Republic.
Yes. And
this man is from the Dominican Republic, so that makes us all proud. Huh?
Yes, thank you. I saw Dr. Magnon Rossi, a great doctor.
Great doctor. I know him personally.
You know, yeah. And actually, that was the only therapy that actually, the site of the tumor was gone after I did his therapy, but the tumor wasn't gone. So my brain kind of relaxed, and I went right back into full steam, back into work, back into life. Oh, it's gone. I beat it. You know, my body overcame. I'm strong. Not the case. You know, it only controlled it. It only deterred it. It only delayed it. It only set back the inevitable time.
So what was the turning point?
Pain. Pain controls men. The same thing I do to my clients did to me. Pain and gravity does not negotiate. I mean, you'll see in the pictures, my body started deteriorating, and I did everything I could to help it, and exercises, and learned new exercise formulas, new therapies, new modems that I implemented on myself, which my clients greatly benefited because I learned all these new things. I basically learned Chinese medicine within 4 years. I had to. I had no choice to save myself. You know, I had to learn, you know, how to eat properly, not just, you know, dieting, low fat. That's nothing. It's about eating the foods that are core to your spirit, to your mind, to your body, you know. And so it was an amazing learning experience for me, because I actually learned things that I can help people, really help people, not just in the way they look or the way they perform. I can actually help change a person from the inside to the outside, and, you know, make them better humans is what we all want to be. But I couldn't help myself. So, you know, I tried. I tried as hard as I could. You saw me. I mean,
living is not about performance.
No.
It's not about competing. It's not about comparing. It's about being. We'll be right back at Business Intelligence. Welcome back to Business Intelligence. We are with Marco Fermin, a very inspiring individual. Marco, we've spoken about your trajectory, what you've been through. Tell us about where you are today. How are you doing, and where is it that you're going?
I beat the great opponent. I don't like to say the word. I got help. I got the help I needed. I sought out real medical cures, that they work. So I'm extremely grateful, extremely humbled in a new way. Life is real life now. It's not about where I was financially or my career. Now, I mean, my main point is to help. It's what I want to do. If there's, I understood that my situation was very unique, 1 in 10 million people. So I know there's 1 in 10 million more people that are suffering what if I can just help them just through a picture, I'm happy, because what I went through, I didn't go through for anything. It's supposed to happen. It was necessary to happen. I am glad it happened to me, because it brought me to where I am point now.
You're glad it happened to you.
It had to happen.
How so?
Death isn't the worst thing that can happen to you. To live a pointless life is the worst thing that can happen to you. And that's what made me realize, like, what was I doing? Okay, I was training, I was making money, I was famous as a trainer. There's so much more. There's so much more. And that's what I learned in those 4 years, what life is really about, and what's what I'm doing now.
Wow. G.K. Chesterton once said that courage, listen to this, people, courage is a contradiction in terms. It is a virtual contradiction in terms. It means a strong desire to live, taking the form of readiness to die. Would you concur?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that is basically it in a nutshell.
Martin Luther King, during his time in the civil rights movement, took up a song. And the theme of the song was, "We shall overcome."
We shall overcome. Yeah.
We shall overcome. And there's a small speech that he made, hearkening the principles of "We shall overcome." And some of the principles are the following. He says, "Truth crushed to earth will rise again." Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
He says, "Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne, yet that scaffold sways the future. And behind the dim unknown standeth God, within the shadow, keeping watch above his own." And I believe that God has been watching you.
Yeah.
And he has been guarding you. And he is driving you towards a purpose that we cannot fathom within the confines of our 5 senses. Tell us what you are up to in terms of your projects professionally.
Oh.
You have this great desire to give back. You've been giving back all your life. You have a beautiful family, a beautiful daughter, a beautiful and talented son. Tell us, what's next for Marco Fermin?
I'm expanding myself out of the gym. I realized in my time down in the hospital, plenty of time to think and to find myself. What I am is a creative person. So I was an amazing trainer. I am an amazing trainer because of my creativeness. I can take a human being, look at them, the way they move, the way they act, the way they respond to environment, manipulate environment to make them a better person, because they have to adapt to environment. So if I get to control environment and they have to adapt to environment, then that's how I improve them.
I love this. I love this, because sometimes we want to bodybuild, but we don't mastermind.
Exactly.
And I think that should be the title of your book. Yeah. Mastermind, Master Spirit, Body Build.
Well, that's going to be it. Well, that's my next project.
Certainly, certainly.
Working on a book. I am developing my creative talents. I'm going to Miami Ad School to just harness them, because creative is creative. I can't confine myself just to the gym.
After going through your career and building expertise and training, you've gone back to school.
Going back to school to do something. I've mastered training. I don't call myself a master, but it's been 20 years. I've never done anything else but train.
And you're still learning.
I'm still learning.
And you acknowledge that the more you learn, the more you earn, the more you can return.
Yes.
And that return part is the predominant theme.
That's the point.
In this man's life.
Yeah, that's the point, to return. Yesterday I had a chess game, and what I learned during the chess game, I am applying it to some information I have in the gym to improve what I already know. So there's no way to stop learning. If you stop learning, it's because you don't want to learn, and you're not tapped into it. If I can pull information out of a chess game and apply it to a workout, that is what learning is to me.
And that's what we share with our audience here in Business Intelligence. Business intelligence is nothing more than the process whereby you look at a wide universe of data and you crystallize it and you turn it into information that leads you into making empowered decisions.
Right, yeah, empowered. Binary decisions is what I've learned to do. Committed decisions.
Beautiful.
It's yes and everything that has to do with yes, or it's no and you forget about it.
A lot of people are looking at you right now and they're feeling inspired by your story, by who you are, by what you've done, and what you aspire to do. Some final words of wisdom and encouragement to them.
Oh, everyone. I mean, no matter how young, how old, what your financial situation is, what your social status is, my personal opinion is you don't have to convince anyone to be happy, right?
Mm.
I think the best medicine and the best formula for life is do the things that make you happy. And do them with the intention just to be happy and make others happy, not with the intention to have a financial gain at the end or, you know,
that comes along.
Right, it'll happen.
Mm.
If it's supposed to happen. If it's not supposed to happen, you're happy anyway, so you're where you're supposed to be. And that was what I was missing the whole time, that happiness wasn't there. You remember, I was, you know, you would come and I'd miss every appointment that you invited me to. Why? Because I'm trying to work, because I'm trying to make money, because money equaled all these other things that I thought made me happy. Mm. So when they were all taken away and then I had to find happiness without all these things, you know, simple thing. A bird chirping will make me happy. It's like, find your happiness. Yeah. First become happy and then go through life and do those other things, and I think it's easier.
This is grounding at people. Be happy and then do happy.
Yes.
Yes? Because we're human beings. And our value, our point of departure is from our beinghood. We're not human doings. Sometimes we do something and that something doesn't prosper. That doesn't mean we're a failure. But if we are fully aware of the fact that we have intrinsic value, that we were made in the likeness and image of God, we embrace that likeness and image and we give unto others what we have been given, we shall experience happiness and not merely ephemeral joy. Marco Fermin, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you. It was an honor.
The honor was all ours. You filled the room with inspiration and wisdom backed up with reality.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for tuning in. See you next time here at Business Intelligence. And remember that thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. If you conceive it in the inside, you achieve it in the outside. So think on the bright side and have a great life. See you next time.